June 14, 2025, began as a typical day at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Crowded, efficient, and humming with activity. Travelers bustled through security lines, families reunited at arrival gates, and the constant hum of rolling suitcases filled the air. The airport, a vital gateway to the Pacific Northwest, was operating at full capacity. With flights arriving and departing on schedule, suddenly, the routine shattered. Alarming alerts rippled through the airport's command center. A serious security threat was unfolding on the tarmac. Within moments, the calm professionalism of the staff gave way to urgent action as protocols kicked in and every screen in the control room lit up with warnings. The focus zeroed in on an Alaska Airlines flight operated by Horizon Air, now the epicenter of a rapidly escalating crisis. The aircraft, which had been preparing for departure, was suddenly surrounded by security teams, its crew and passengers caught in a situation no one could have anticipated. Departure boards flipped from on time to delayed and cancelled. The ripple effect was immediate, as dozens of flights were affected and the airport's meticulously planned schedule began to unravel. Announcements grew frequent but vague, fueling confusion. Over the loudspeakers, staff urged patience and cooperation, but offered few details, leaving travelers to speculate about the cause of the disruption. Passengers, glued to their phones, searched for answers as the airport's usual rhythm ground to a halt. Social media buzzed with rumors, and news outlets scrambled to piece together what little information was available. The runways fell eerily silent, and emergency vehicles with flashing lights raced across the airfield, a clear sign that this was no routine delay. The sight of fire trucks and police cars speeding past terminal windows sent a wave of anxiety through the crowds. The airport entered a partial shutdown, a rare and dramatic move for one of the nation's busiest hubs. Entrances were closed and only essential personnel were allowed near the affected areas, leaving once busy corridors eerily empty. The incident on that single aircraft triggered a massive security response, freezing operations to protect everyone on the ground and in the air. Teams coordinated with federal agencies, and every precaution was taken to ensure the threat was contained. For thousands inside the terminals, the day had taken a sudden unsettling turn. Families clung to their luggage, business travelers checked their watches, and the uncertainty weighed heavily on everyone. The story of that afternoon is one of a direct threat, a swift response, and a reminder of how quickly the ordinary can become extraordinary. In a matter of minutes, the airport's sense of normalcy was replaced by tension, resilience, and the hope for answers. What happened next would ripple far beyond Seattle, as the world watched and waited for the outcome of the Seattle airport shutdown. On Alaska Airlines Flight 2123, the mood was routine, with passengers settling into their seats, chatting quietly, and flight attendants performing their final checks. As the plane taxied for takeoff, the hum of anticipation filled the cabin, blending with the distant roar of jet engines outside. Suddenly, a male passenger became visibly agitated. Without warning, he made a direct, credible threat to a flight attendant, his voice cutting through the calm. The crew's training kicked in immediately, their minds racing through emergency procedures they'd practiced countless times. Calmly and discreetly, the flight attendant alerted the cockpit, relaying the seriousness of the threat, while simultaneously working to de-escalate the situation and keep other passengers unaware. The pilots, understanding the gravity of the situation, brought the aircraft to a halt on the taxiway and immediately notified air traffic control of a potential security breach. Emergency protocols were activated instantly, with the crew moving swiftly but calmly to secure the cabin and prepare for any outcome. The plane was quickly isolated on the tarmac and law enforcement mobilized, surrounding the aircraft to ensure the safety of everyone on board. Passengers, mostly unaware of the specifics, waited anxiously as the aircraft sat motionless, their conversations hushed and eyes searching for answers. The crew's professionalism and calm demeanor kept the situation contained, preventing panic or escalation among the travelers. Working as a seamless team, the pilots and flight attendants communicated constantly, ensuring the threat was managed and that everyone remained as safe and comfortable as possible. Their quick thinking, strict adherence to protocol, and ability to remain composed under pressure were crucial in averting a potential disaster. All 68 passengers and 4 crew members were soon deplaned safely, guided by the crew and escorted by authorities. The ordeal for the airport, however, was just beginning, as emergency vehicles and staff rushed to respond and secure the area. The ripple effects of this single incident would soon be felt across the entire air travel system, causing delays, confusion, and heightened security for hours to come. When Flight 2123's pilots declared a security threat, air traffic controllers had seconds to act. Following strict FAA protocols, they issued a ground stop. No planes could take off. 2 of the airport's 3 runways were closed, giving emergency responders clear access to the scene. The closures isolated the incident, minimizing risk to other flights and infrastructure. This bubble of safety is standard in high-stakes airport emergencies. The airport's capacity was crippled. Only 1 runway remained open, and departing flights were halted. Inbound planes circled or diverted to other airports while the backlog grew. The shutdown was disruptive, but it was a decisive move to neutralize the threat. Safety came first, even at the cost of bringing a major hub to a standstill. The impact would soon cascade far beyond Seattle. The shutdown sent shockwaves through the air travel system. Departure boards flashed with delays and cancellations, and passengers crowded service desks in search of answers. At least 6 flights were cancelled, and 2 inbound planes diverted to other cities. Aircraft and crews were out of position, creating a logistical nightmare for airlines. Dozens of planes sat idle on taxiways, their passengers trapped just yards from the terminal. Even after the threat was resolved, it took hours to clear the backlog and restore order. Many travelers missed connections or had their plans upended. The incident exposed just how interconnected and fragile the modern air travel system is. A single threat had triggered a ripple effect felt by thousands. The June 2025 threat wasn't Alaska Airlines' only recent crisis. The airline had faced a string of alarming incidents, from mechanical failures to unruly passengers, raising serious questions about safety and oversight. The most dramatic. In January 2024, a door plug blew out mid-flight on a Boeing 737 MAX 9, causing rapid decompression. Miraculously, the pilots landed safely, but the image of a gaping hole in the fuselage became a symbol of catastrophic failure. Other incidents included passengers opening emergency exits or attempting to open doors mid-flight. These events painted a picture of an airline and a manufacturer under pressure. The June 2025 threat added another layer, focusing attention on security protocols. Alaska Airlines now faced urgent calls for a comprehensive review to restore public trust. After the door plug blowout, the NTSB launched a sweeping investigation into Boeing and the FAA. Investigators found 4 critical bolts missing from the door plug, never installed after factory maintenance. The final report, released in June 2025, was damning. Both Boeing and the FAA had failed in their duties. Boeing's documentation and quality control were called shoddy, and the FAA's oversight was deemed ineffective. Too much safety authority had been delegated to Boeing, allowing production pressures to override protocols. The findings sent shockwaves through the industry, demanding immediate change. The report was a powerful indictment of a broken system. Systemic reform was now unavoidable. In response, the FAA halted Boeing 737 MAX production expansion and stationed full-time inspectors at Boeing's factories. The goal: independent oversight at every stage, ensuring safety procedures were strictly followed. The Department of Justice opened its own investigation, adding legal pressure. Airlines, including Alaska, began conducting more rigorous inspections of new planes and reinforced crew training. These combined efforts marked the most significant aviation safety reforms in years. The government reasserted its authority, and airlines added new layers of defense. The process would be long, but the goal was clear: restore trust and ensure every flight is as safe as possible. The industry was determined to rebuild its safety net. For passengers, recent events have fueled anxiety, but air travel remains one of the safest ways to get around. The new scrutiny on manufacturers and airlines is making it even safer. Travelers should pay close attention to safety briefings and know their nearest exits. Expect more thorough security procedures and longer lines at airports. Patience is key. These measures are for your protection. Always follow crew instructions, especially during delays or emergencies. If you see something unusual, discreetly alert a flight attendant or airport official. Your awareness can help prevent incidents from escalating. Expect some delays as the industry adjusts to new standards, but remember, every new procedure is part of a larger effort to keep you safe. The system is correcting itself, and that's good news for everyone who flies. The recent incidents involving Alaska Airlines and Boeing have forced the aviation industry to confront its weaknesses head-on, sparking a wave of reflection and urgent action across the globe. These events have served as a wake-up call, reminding everyone that even the most advanced systems require constant vigilance and improvement. The focus now is on building a more resilient, transparent system where safety always comes first. Industry leaders, regulators, and frontline workers are coming together to share knowledge, address gaps, and ensure that every link in the safety chain is reinforced. Boeing is overhauling its quality control processes from the ground up, while the FAA is reclaiming its role as a tough, independent regulator, one that is unafraid to demand accountability and enforce higher standards. Airlines are reinforcing crew training and inspections, making them the final line of defense. Every pilot, engineer, and technician is being reminded that their expertise and attention to detail are critical to passenger safety. The professionalism shown by the crew of Flight 2123 proved the value of rigorous preparation. Their calm, decisive actions in a moment of crisis saved lives and set a new standard for excellence in the cockpit. Restoring public trust will take time and vigilance, but the system is responding with real action. Passengers deserve to know that every possible measure is being taken to keep them safe, from check-in to landing. The sky is no place for shortcuts or complacency. Every flight is a test of the industry's commitment to learning, adapting, and never letting safety standards slip. Lessons from recent crises are being etched into new regulations and procedures, ensuring that mistakes are not repeated and that progress is continuous. The goal is clear. Every flight should represent the best of human ingenuity, teamwork, and an unwavering commitment to safety, no matter the challenges ahead. The journey to safer skies is underway, one flight at a time, with every stakeholder playing a vital role in shaping the future of aviation.